Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my Caesar 4 tutorial Let's Play series. This episode will be on us completing the Verona level, or campaign, however you want to call it, which is of course the next mission. So let's click. Okay, so again we'll be starting in Verona just here. Let's click start.
Good day, Governor. Since you did so well on your last assignment, Rome has decided to entrust you with a more vigorous challenge. As your cities grow, they will require more specialized services. The middle-class equites will man these jobs just as your plebs do for heavy labor tasks. You will find that the equites are not satisfied with the same simple life that the plebs are accustomed to. You will need to support a respectable population, but to complicate matters, you will also need to meet a minimum culture rating.
So as you can see, we've again got to get 500 population, but additionally this time we will need 5 culture. So let's begin. Okay, the first thing to do, of course, always is pause. Pause the game, and then that way it gives you time to not only follow with whatever the game's telling you, but also to put in place the infrastructure. And also sometimes I really dislike the way the roads go. They waste so much space, and one of the things I like to do at the beginning is sort that out by making the roads more straight rather than angled. Okay, so let's just do that. So as you can see, it's easier for placing buildings and invaluable for saving space for on the tutorial campaign where the maps are very small. Okay, so the first thing to do then is start by placing your infrastructure, the buildings that the game has opened up for us so far. So if we go and place some small insulae, let's see, do I want to put them just there? Yeah, they're not far from the food source. So let's zoom in a bit and place these buildings. Remember, the R key rotates. So what I'll do is, for now, I'll just place 4. Okay, now we know that after the last campaign, it told us about we must place prefect office and engineer's post. Excuse me, sorry. That will save us having to worry about fires and collapsing buildings. So while the game's paused, put all of this infrastructure in place. Let's put them side by side. There we go. Okay, so that's that done. Next we will need water for the plebs and for the equites. Okay, we're still stuck with the well, but things will move on from that soon enough. I'll place it just there. Let's see, so what else have we been given so far? Okay, the next thing to do, of course, is to put some food in place, because they're definitely going to need feeding. So what I'll do is let's place down 4 grain fields and 6 grain fields, and actually no, I'll put down 4 grain fields. I'd like to put down 6, but of course I'm going to use up all my labour, so I'll be a bit careful with that. Right, okay, so we got 4 fields. Let's put down a farm. The farms I can place right over here in actual fact, because I want to make room for the granary, and I'm basically trying to save all the space I can, but I want to leave enough room for a road up there. So let's place it just here, the 2 farms. 1 there, 1 there. Next, of course, will be the granary. which we can place not that side. So I'll place it this side. And I'll place it just there, I think, yeah. Okay. Now the next thing, well, that'll do us for now. Let's keep the game moving. So now we've just got to wait for people to start moving in. I may as well place a food market, of course. That's also going to be something necessary. And let's place it just there. Okay, now we can see the fruits of my labour. As the houses fill up and they get access to the essentials that they need, the buildings will expand. Well, once I've got a clay pit put in. So let's do the clay digging camp while we're waiting. Okay, where's the best place for the road? Always try to remember to leave space for roads around your settlements.
You need to supply your people with goods if you want to keep them happy. I suggest starting with something simple, like pottery. To start, you must locate a source of natural clay in the city. It just so happens that there is some close by. Clay pits look like this. Place a clay camp near the clay pit by using the Resources Build button, and make sure the camp is connected to a road. Workers do not need a road to get from the camp to the clay pit itself.
Okay, so yeah, I was jumping ahead a little. This is the clay pit, so this is where we need to make a road nearly to, because like he said, they will actually walk across the terrain to get to the clay pit from the place of their work. So what I'll do, I'll do a road across all of that. Let's put it about there, or keeping it straight. There. Okay, now what I'll do, yeah, I know the road looks a bit wonky, but hey, nobody's perfect. Let's put our clay digging pit down, just there, because remember, it doesn't need to be next to the clay pit, just next to the road is important. Okay, now there we go, there's someone that's going to go off digging. Now also what we want to do is place a warehouse. Which we can't do yet because I'm jumping ahead of the game again. Okay, let's check out and see how the people are doing. Yeah, full. You can see that these insulae are full up, all ready to be evolved. Okay, the next thing to take a look at is our advisors.
Entertainment is scarce in our city.
Check the
We do
labour.
not have enough jobs for all of our workers.
So that's good. I was just making sure that I had enough workers for the farm and the clay pit, which I do. So what I will do is another farm now that I know I have plenty of workers. I'll also need to save some workers for the warehouse. But it's looking all good. Okay, so let's do 2 more grain farms. These I will put over here. And let's put the farm just here.
Build a pottery factory to convert the raw clay into a finished product. Build a warehouse to store both the raw materials and finished goods. Now is a good time to get familiar with how the warehouse operates. Select your warehouse, then click on its Orders button. The Warehouse Orders panel controls allow you to limit how much of each item the warehouse will hold. The Master Control at the bottom of the panel allows you to set identical limits for all resources at once. You will need to store some pottery to continue in this scenario.
Okay, right. That's good. Now, bear in mind that one clay digging pit will usually easily take care of 2 pottery factories. So, because I've got plenty of workers, and that's a bit of a nuisance, but not a major problem, because what I'll do is just put the road joining onto it. So let's turn it around so it's facing the right direction, like I think it's that way. Yeah, it is. So as close as I can to the road, which is just there. Okay, what I will now do is repair the bit of mess I made, and there's always going to be some of that. And redo the road. Like so. Okay, now these factories are not a good thing to have near your buildings because they will make the area very undesirable. Just like you can imagine if you had a factory behind your house. Not very pleasant. So, best to build them far as you can away from the local community. So, what I'm going to do, make a road here so I can put another factory here. And then 2 factories will easily be sufficient for my needs. There we go. Okay, next thing we need is a warehouse. Again, warehouses are very ugly for the population.
Excellent. Now that you have a surplus of finished pottery, it is time to make it available to the city's households. Pottery is a basic good, so build a basic goods market near your citizens' homes to sell the newly made pottery. There are several different types of basic goods, and you should always make sure to provide 1 or 2 types as soon as possible.
Right, okay, thank you for that. Okay, so let's put it here. I've got no choice. Really, ideally, it would have went a bit further away from my houses, but these are only plebs, remember. So, so that's the way of ancient Rome. The plebs would be right next to the warehouses and everything else. So we'll put our warehouse there. The first thing we do with the warehouse is we will click on it, go to orders, and we will set everything to 0. We will then put the clay to 16 and the pottery to 16. That way we know that by only having them 2 resources we will get half and half of each. So not only will we always be able to have goods, because it could be if we didn't do that it would fill up with clay, and so there'd be no room for pottery, meaning then we'd have to make another warehouse. But we don't have much space in these small maps, and these create a horrible amount of design in making a place look ugly, so we want as few of these as possible. Way to get around it is just to put half and half, which you'll easily get away with this early in the game. And the last thing we need is a basic goods market to hand out the pottery, and we'll place it this side. Right, just there. There we go. Right, now they will come out of here and go to the warehouse to collect the pottery, as you can see there, and bring it back.
It is time to consider the middle class, the equites. Just as you did for your plebs, build some housing for equites using the equestrian home button. Soon some equites will immigrate to the city. While your plebs provide you with a labour force for manual tasks like transporting resources and manufacturing goods, your equites provide you with labour for sophisticated services. Just as the equites rely on the plebs for goods, you will soon find that the upper-class patricians rely on the equites for services.
Right, okay, so that's what we now need to do, the equites. So what we will do, first thing, is build a road. And just trying to work out how to do my roads. Yeah, I'll do it like, oh no, I don't want it at an angle. So there we go, nice road there. And that like that. Yeah, why not? I know it's a bit, I might want another big building though, so let's put it like that. There we go. Right, so the Equites houses here, or small domus is what it's called. And you can see the houses take up much more space for these Equites. And you'll see the front of them, oh, typical, just when I want to show you that. The front of them has the doorway, so we'll place one there and one there. 2 should be sufficient. Now, it's a shame I didn't click on these to show you them before they upgraded.
Quaint, but you won't get very far as a governor if you just dig holes in the ground and keep your fingers crossed. Clean water is a necessity for a large city. Aqueducts are used to supply water to your city's reservoirs. Reservoirs are the center points for pipe access that will provide water to fountains, bathhouses, and patrician villas. To get water to your reservoirs, build a pump house near a water source and connect it to a reservoir with aqueducts. Supply a bathhouse and fountain with water.
Okay, right, here's the next important step. If we want to have Equites in our town, in our city, we need to cater to them. And that's by giving them decent water, which will keep them then happy. So, in order to make fountains and the infrastructure for fountains, you need Equites. So that's why the tutorial has opened that up just after giving us these. So let's start with the water then. The first building you have to make when it comes to the water is the pump house. So if we go to health and hygiene, no, we go to water and then pump house. We'll put that over here. You have to build it, by the way, near the water. See, it will be red everywhere else. You can't build it. But once you get within a certain distance of the water, you can place it. So we'll place it there. The next thing, of course, we will need is the aqueduct. So let's do the aqueduct, and we're going to pull it across the road. You left click once to start the aqueduct building, and then stretch it across to wherever you want to go. So I'm going to place it about here. Remember that the reservoir again will make an area undesirable, so you want to place it a little way away from your settlement. So I'll click again, that places down my aqueduct. Now I will, let's turn the camera around so it doesn't keep squeezing. Okay, next let's place the reservoir, which we can put just there. Notice that you can have aqueducts going off in different directions to place more on the map. And now we can place a fountain. They are noisy, but they are good. And we'll place it just there. Look at that, how glorious. And how noisy. Now of course we can get rid of the well. You'll notice the further you move away, the quieter it gets. How cool is that? But yeah, how pretty as well. Look at that. The little sculptures around it. Very, very pretty. There we go though, that will keep everyone very happy. If we check a house now, we'll see that they're getting fountain water. And even the animation has changed. So cool. They've now evolved. So you'll notice now that they started with 70 people. Now they can fit a further 40 people into each house once it's upgraded to 110. Right, okay, if you forget what you've been asked to do, then you can click on this scenario information and it will remind you. So we need 5 culture. Okay, let's check our population, which is 440. So let's put down another. And mind you, these haven't populated yet. That's full up, that one isn't. So I've still got room for 80 more people. And 80 on that, of course, will give us our population that we need. So it's the culture. So next we're going to the advisors.
We do not have enough jobs for all of our workers.
But that is a good figure to keep unemployed. That'll make sure that they are happy. Okay, so we want to check our culture.
Our city's cultural standard needs work.
And if we click on culture, okay, so I think it's down to the fact that the game hasn't moved on yet, which is strange because I'm sure I've done what he last asked me to do. Let's bring the instructions back up and look. Ah, of course, that's what I need to do. The last thing, of course, is a bathhouse. And the bathhouses are invaluable for keeping your citizens healthy. Now, where can you place the bathhouse? Well, the thing to do is go to the overlays and water. And wherever you see this light blue area, that is the area that you can place a building that requires water. So, I would like to place it just here. But the road's in the way, so what we will do is dismantle some of the road. Oops, not the house though. And a little bit more. Okay, now we can place our bathhouse, which is in health and hygiene. Helps to keep the population healthy. And if you want to get the front of it, let's put this back to normal and get rid of that. If you want to place the front of it, then you look at it like that. So basically you can see into where the water's going to be. Let's place it down and you'll see what I mean. And there you go. You can see the ancient Romans having fun blowing bubbles and the steam coming out.
Where plebs are content with basic goods,
How cool is
equites
that?
have more refined tastes and will want luxury goods as well. Luxury goods are procured in the same way as basic goods. First you must get the raw materials, then arrange for manufacture of the finished goods and provide a place to store and sell them. Furniture is made with timber, so build a timber camp to collect the raw materials and a furniture factory to create the finished goods. Store some furniture in your warehouses.
Okay, so that's what we've got to do next. Work on... Oh well, we've met the target for the populations. Next we've got to work on giving them more basic goods. Was it basic goods or was it luxury? Oh, luxury goods. Right, okay, so that means now we need to place down a timber cutting camp. Now, the trees that they can cut are these ones here. The big trees, like so. And what I will do is run a road to conserve space along the outer edge. Okay, which will be just there. Like so. That way I'll get as maximum amount of space to use. Okay, right. Next, let's place the timber cutting camp. One will be sufficient. Place it adjacent to the road. And next, we need to place 2 furniture factories. Because one timber cutting camp will support 2 of them. Although I'm only going to place 1 because I'm running out of workers. And I only need 1 to progress the episode. Okay, next we need to place down another warehouse, because don't forget we allocated the other warehouse for pottery and clay. So we'll do the warehouse as far away as we can get it, just there. We will next go to the orders. You've guessed it, we'll set everything to nothing and we'll set timber to 16. And although that's a long way away from my factories, I don't like that, so I'm going to dismantle it. Engage my brain this time and place the warehouse. Oh, don't tell me I can't place it there now after I've just deleted the other one. Marvellous. Let's clear some of this land. see what we're doing. Okay, now will you not let me place it there? No, you won't. So you're telling me I'm going to have to place it miles away. Great. Oh well, I've got no choice with the distance for that. Okay, let's set it to 0, and the timber to 16, and the furniture to 16. The good news is, of course, is the luxury market won't have far to walk to get the items. So we'll place that just... Oh, it won't fit in there. We'll place it just there. Okay, now we've probably not got enough workers, so let's check the...
Good health is essential to support a large urban population, and particularly to reduce the likelihood that a plague outbreak will occur in your city. Build a clinic using the Healthcare Build button near some of your city's housing. As residents acquire more goods and gain access to more services, their homes get upgraded to fit more occupants.
Right, okay, now the clinic is one of the most important buildings. That's one of the buildings that when you start a new mission, you pause the game and you place a clinic, always. Because it'll stop lots of illnesses. And I'll place it just there. So it was handy that. It's always handy to leave gaps in the centre of your towns, because there's always going to be a building that you've forgotten about that you'll want centralised. So there we go, I'll place that clinic. Now you'll see the little physician coming out. If we click on him, if I can see him, we'll see what he's got to say. No, missed him. Where'd he go? I've lost the physician. Oh, there he is. Oh, I missed it. Oh well.
When in Rome, do as
When
the
you select any
Romans.
building, the
In
selected
my
object
town,
will
though,
be
you'd
able to
better
give you more
behave.
information on that building. For homes, it will show you what the residents have as well as what they want. For other buildings, it will show you inventory, orders, and workers. Remember to consult your ratings advisor for the requirements to complete this assignment.
Okay, well we know what we need. 500 population and 5 culture. So
Just
there
look
you
at
go.
the hustling, bustling little city you have here. Raw materials are being turned into manufactured goods for your people under your wise supervision. Your citizens have jobs, running water they can get from fountains, and even a place to take a relaxing bath after a long day's work. Simply capital.
I do like the progress of Caesar 4. It's absolutely fantastic, as you can see. Okay, well that's got us this far, and I've worked out that I'll want to do the episodes for Caesar 4 just like this, trying to do a campaign for each episode. But when the episodes get much bigger, when the campaigns get much bigger, what I'll do is then to split them into parts. So it'll be the name of the campaign, as in this case Verona, part 1, until I finish that particular campaign. So it'll all be slotted into parts. Easier for indexing. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every last one of you safe. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed this episode on Caesar 4. Goodbye.